I want to start this video off by saying a congratulations to those of you guys watching who are the proud owners of this camera, the Pentax K3 Mark III. Now this camera is packed full of features which serve both practical and creative purposes. And in today's video, I'm going to show you 7 of those features which I think that you should definitely try out for yourself. And I'll also be dropping in some extra features towards the end of the video, which I haven't actually tried out for myself yet. I know you're going to tell me in the comments that I need to do that. So stick around until the end of the video to see what they are. The first feature that I want to talk about is the customized user presets. This is not a new feature exclusive to the K3 Mark III. In fact, it's been around for a while with the Pentax cameras. However, with the Pentax K3 Mark III, you can store up to 10 presets within the camera's memory, 5 of which have their own dedicated spot on the camera's mode dial. One of the main reasons I love the custom user presets is simply down to the ease of use and having everything at your fingertips. You can save your go-to settings for every style of photography that you shoot and recall them at the drop of a hat, which is great considering just how many options are packed into this camera. I'll leave a link to my current user presets for channel members to download and try out for themselves. The second feature on the list is the autofocus point tracking and autofocus sensitivity in AFC. The K3 Mark III is the first camera from Pentax that has an in-depth autofocus system, which is something that many of us have been asking for a long time. To access the autofocus point tracking and AF sensitivity settings, head to the focus settings item number 1. Then simply scroll down the menu until you find both of those options. Here you'll be able to customize your autofocus settings to suit the scenario or the subject that you're looking to capture. I've made a real world comparison video using the autofocus point tracking and autofocus sensitivity settings in different combinations, and I'll leave a link to that in the video description below. Third on the list is the shake reduction feature, which on this camera and plenty of Pentax cameras before it comes in the form of in-body stabilization. However, this is the first camera from Pentax that has 2 variations of shake reduction, the first being the standard option, which again can be found on Pentax DSLRs going back as far as the K10iii. The second option that we have is panning, which is pretty much self-explanatory in that the option has been designed to aid photographers in capturing subjects moving horizontally while using slow shutter speeds to create a sense of motion and speed. Personally, I love the fact that it's the camera and not the lens that is stabilised, because that means I have the option to use shake reduction with any lens that I mount to the K3 Mark III. Whereas if I compare that to my Canon 7D Mark II, I would need to buy a lens that has image stabilisation, and for the most part, those lenses are almost always more expensive. Next up on the list is the metering modes that this camera has, and the options available to use with them. First up, we have a brand new metering mode, which is highlight weighted metering. The benefit of using this mode is that the camera is basically told to protect the highlights in the image and prioritise them for a correct exposure. As with many features on this list, I'd definitely say to try this one out for yourself and to see which conditions it works the best in. Now, I'll admit that it was only recently that I discovered Pentax had included yet another sub-feature, which in this case works directly with the multi-segment metering mode. That sub-feature is Face Priority AE, and this works by performing an automatic exposure prioritised around the detected faces in a scene while using multi-segment metering. If you've learnt something new or found any value in what I've talked about so far in this video and would like to help support the channel, there's a few different ways you can do that, which again can all be found in the description, and as always, it's very much appreciated. At number 5 on the list, we have the camera's shutter options. Being a flagship camera, the K3 Mark III can reach shutter speeds of 1/8000th of a second when using the camera's mechanical shutter. And Pentax have also included the option of using an electronic shutter, which can go up to 1/16000th of a second, which allows for some really creative photography. And this feature proved to be useful when I was using the Pentax FA 50mm f1.4 classic lens while shooting wide open in bright conditions. However, a few things to watch out for when using the electronic shutter are banding when shooting under artificial light and the roll and shutter when shooting fast moving subjects. In at number 6, I want to mention the Smart Function button, which is located on the top of the camera just in front of the small LCD screen. You can choose a wide range of different functions that are available in this camera, then lock in your top 5 for quick access. And this just adds to the versatility that the Pentax K3 Mark III brings to the table, and further cements it as a camera suitable for any style of photography. The 7th and final feature that I think that you need to try out if you haven't already is the custom image feature, which again is a feature that has been around for a minute but has taken a step up with this camera. To access the custom image feature, head down to item number 6 in the image process settings menu, or simply press the dedicated button on the back of the camera. You're going to find a host of different colour profiles, most of which have customizable options to change the saturation, the hue, high and low key adjustment, highlight and shadow contrast, as well as the overall contrast and sharpness of the image. Pentax have also introduced some new custom image profiles available to this camera, such as the gold profile, which again you can further tinker with to suit your taste. As promised, here's some honourable mentions of features that I didn't include simply due to not using them enough myself, but I do know that some of you watching will definitely use them. First up is the Astro Tracer function. Next we have the interval composite drive mode and HDR modes. And finally, who can forget about pixel shift? A lens that I feel would benefit from some of the creative features that I've talked about in this video is of course the Pentax FA50 Classic lens. Head over and have a watch of that video and let me know if by the end you feel the same way. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.